Hey there, it's Steve from Serious Keto, and in this video, oops, wrong direction. Hey there, it's Steve from Serious Keto, and in this video, I will be reviewing. Hey there, it's Steve from Serious Keto, and in this video, I will be reviewing all 4 flavors of egg white wraps. When I recently did my video on the 90-second tortilla, which I will link to up here, parts 1 and part 2, I got a couple of comments from people saying, wouldn't it just be easier to go buy tortillas? Well, yes. It's always easier to buy something than it is to cook something, but a lot of the tortillas and wraps that I've seen out there, first off, a little high on the carbs. It seems like most of them are in that 5 to 7 net carb range. Additionally, it seems that pretty much all of them have soybean oil, which is one of the ingredients I actively try to avoid just because of its inflammatory properties. So unlike those tortillas, all of the EggLife wraps are 1 gram or less of total carbs. Additionally, the only ingredient that I think some people might be concerned about is natural flavors. And natural flavors, that's pretty hard to escape on any commercial product. But basically, we're looking at pretty much eggs, xanthan gum, and a natural preservative. That's it. So for each of these wraps, I'm going to cut off a little strip, do a straight up taste test, then I'm going to make these into, well, sandwich wraps or something like that. I'm going to try a couple of different experiments just to see how they hold up under various conditions. Then I'm going to try both dehydrating some chips with these tortillas and frying them up to see if I can make any sort of a crispy shell. I'm going to start with the original or plain flavor of EggLife wrap. This has 25 calories, 5 grams of protein, and 0 total grams of carbs. In terms of the overall structure, it's fairly pliable, very soft. I think this, if this were a flour tortilla, would be pretty much the perfect consistency as far as I'm concerned. I cut off a little piece here, not expecting a whole lot on the original flavor. The flavor, pretty much non-existent. So if you're looking for a delivery mechanism that isn't going to steal the show, these originals fall into that category. In terms of the texture, it's a little bit spongy, but it's not rubbery. Some products that use a lot of egg white can be really kind of dense and rubbery. This is not. This, I think, is a solid delivery mechanism. Next, I have the Southwest wraps. Same sort of consistency. I have found that you do need to be careful when you're peeling these off the pile because they can kind of stick and tear a little bit, so be gentle. Anyhow, Southwest, 30 calories, 5 grams of protein, 1 gram total carbs. I'm not sure if you can hear this in the background of the video, but it is an absolute downpour outside. I'd be surprised if we don't get a little bit of thunder in this video. Anyhow, Southwest wrap. Definitely picking up a lot of cumin. If you're not a fan of cumin, I would probably steer clear of these. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the taste of chorizo. Now the question is, does the Southwest flavor really bring anything extra to the table? I figure if I'm going to be using the Southwest flavor, I'm probably going to be putting some sort of seasoned meat and hot sauce on it anyway. So, I don't know. I guess we'll find out when I make a taco out of this a little bit later in this video. Next up, we have the Italian style. Again, this is 30 calories, 5 grams of protein, 1 gram total carbs. Definitely picking up a lot of oregano and a little bit of basil in terms of the smell. You know, I was thinking before I tasted this, when I make it into a sandwich, I would probably put a couple of basil leaves on it. I don't think it's going to need it. I think just a little bit of roast beef and some provolone and a little bit of mayo, I got myself a sandwich. For my final straight up taste test, I have the Everything Bagel Wrap. This has 35 calories, 6 grams of protein, and just under 1 total carb. Now for this one, the moment I opened the bag, it filled the kitchen with the smell of garlic. So I expect that this is going to be the most flavorful of the wraps. The question is it overpowering? That is also very good. It is strong on garlic, and I need to check the ingredients just because I feel like I'm getting actual pieces of fresh garlic in there. Now it says dried garlic and dried onion, but there must be something about the moisture in this that sort of rehydrates them a little bit, because it wasn't crunchy like dried onion or dried garlic. It had sort of a softness to it, which I enjoyed. But definitely this is the sort of wrap that you're gonna wanna brush your teeth or have a little gum handy afterwards. So now I'm gonna test the practical application of each of these tortillas for making a snack or a meal. I'm going to start with the everything bagel, and I could have sworn that they had a rye flavor, and I thought I had purchased that. The intent was I was going to try and make a Reuben roll-up, but if there is a rye, I screwed up, I didn't buy it, so I'm going to use the everything bagel to make my toasted Reuben wrap. I have a little baby Swiss here. I got a feeling we're going to lose power as a result of the storm that's going on right now. It keeps flickering. Anyhow, little corned beef, some sauerkraut. Wrap this up. We'll go into a toaster oven while we make our others. For the Italian style, I'll start with a little homemade mayonnaise, which I'll link to right there if you want to make some of your own. A little provolone and some roast beef. So here's my little Italian creation. It's really good. And it has me thinking, you know those hors d'oeuvres or snacks you see lots of times where someone will take a tortilla and then they put cream cheese and then whatever fillings they put in, I don't know, ham, cheese, something, and then they roll it up. I think this would work pretty great for something like that. I really want to keep eating this, but I need to try out the other concoctions. Then I have my Southwestern tortilla. I'll sprinkle a little bit of cheese on there. Then I've got a mixture of some ground chicken and chorizo, which we'll put on top of that. I'll wrap this up and give it a moment to let the meat melt that cheese just a little bit. And now the Southwest roll-up. That's very good, but there is a little bit of a textural disconnect. If you're used to having a flour tortilla or a corn tortilla, this just has a different feel in your mouth. Not bad, but different. Still pretty darn good. My Reuben wrap is out of the toaster oven, and it's a little bit more firm than the others because, I mean, it was baking. I wonder what would happen if I hit this with a little bit of avocado oil and put it in the air fryer. I may have to try that after I take a bite. Good stuff, though I gotta believe that if there were a rye flavored wrapper, it would go far better for the Reuben sandwich. But now that I'm curious about the air fryer thing, I'm gonna hit that Italian one with a little bit of avocado oil and put it in the air fryer and see how it comes out. Make sure it's nice and coated here. All right, here's my Italian beef roll-up. And we're dripping some juices here. Probably gonna have to let this cool down for a minute or so before I try taste testing it. All right, I think it's cool enough to give this a try. Well, still steaming. We'll see what happens. It's good, but the wrap didn't really crisp up. That leads me to my next two experiments. I'm gonna try dehydrating some of these to make chips and frying them in oil to make chips. Okay, I've got some avocado oil here at about 325 degrees Fahrenheit. We'll lay in a couple of chips and see how they fry up. Now I can't tell if they're puffing up or if they're just getting concave on the oil side. I guess we'll know in a minute when I flip them. All right, when I flipped them, they definitely puffed up. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, depending on how we plan on using these. I feel these are about as golden as they're gonna get without overshooting and burning them. So I'm gonna take these off the heat and let them drain on a paper towel. While I let the fried wraps or chips or whatever they turn out to be cool down, I'm gonna try out some that I did in my dehydrator. Okay, I tried to pick one up and immediately broke. Very, very fragile. Don't love them. Taste-wise, it reminds me of a really, really stale breadstick. In terms of the texture, I don't know what I would compare it to. Maybe one of those baked potato chips, like baked Lay's or something like that, but not as crispy. I'm gonna say Dehydrator, not a win. So you can see these held their puffy shape. Kind of reminds me a little bit of a sopapilla, only thinner. Suddenly, these taste very eggy. The wraps themselves did not taste eggy, but this is the sort of overcooked egg white taste that you can sometimes get. Also not a win. So on the whole, I like these EggLife wrappers as a wrap. They don't make chips, they don't make crackers, they don't seem to fry up all that well. But as a wrap or a tortilla, it does its job, and it does its job well. I found that in stores, the price on these, at least around here, is $5 for a 6-pack. So more expensive than non-keto tortillas, but fairly much in line with keto tortillas. And as I said before, cleaner ingredients, fewer carbs. But if you're not looking to make your own tortillas, I can give the EggLife wraps the Serious Keto seal of approval. That's it for this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, click that like button. If you're not a subscriber already, tap the subscribe button, then hit the bell to turn on all notifications. And last of all, if you want to help support the Serious Keto Test Kitchen, click the join button and see what memberships and options are all about. Thanks for watching.